There is a federal home improvement loan that requires no appraisal, no equity, and no down payment. Congress just raised its limit from $25,000 to $75,000, tripled it essentially in one line of a bill nobody read. And there are about 30 lenders left in America who will actually write it. That is not my estimate. That number comes out of HUD's own peer-reviewed journal. In the 1990s, more than 1,000 lenders made these loans. Today, it is roughly 30. I spent 17 years in mortgage lending, and I want to explain to you why a program with genuinely good terms almost disappeared. Because the answer is the same answer as almost everything else that goes wrong for people trying to afford a house in this country. Let me back up. 2 weeks ago, the 21st Century Road to Housing Act became law, July 11th. Every video you have seen about it covered one section, the part restricting Wall Street from buying single-family homes. I covered a different chapter of it myself, the manufactured housing title. There is another piece in there that nobody touched, and it is Section 303. Section 303 does two things. First, it takes the FHA Title I property improvement loan limit, which had been stuck at $25,000, and rewrites it to $75,000. For 2 to 4 unit buildings, it goes from $60,000 to $150,000. Second, and this is the part that should get your attention if you have an aging parent or an adult kid who cannot afford to move out, it inserts one phrase into the statute. The law now says these loans can be used for, and I am quoting the enrolled bill, construction of additional or accessory dwelling units. An accessory dwelling unit, a second small home on your lot, a converted garage, a unit over the detached garage. FHA insured financing to build one, written into federal law 2 weeks ago. Here is why that matters right now. Pew Research found that 22% of American adults 65 and older are living in a multi-generational household. That is up from 17% in 1990. And the National Association of Realtors found that 14% of buyers last year bought a multi-generational home, with the top stated reason being caring for aging parents. Millions of American families are solving this problem right now by cramming everyone into one house. The law just acknowledged the other way to solve it. Now, if you are still with me, hit the like button, because I am about to tell you the two things that are wrong with what I just said, and then the thing that actually works today. Problem 1. You cannot get this loan yet. Section 303 has no effective date clause, so technically the amendment is live. But read the actual text. The eligible use is qualified with the words, as defined by the Secretary. And the new loan limit for an ADU is set at, quoting again, such principal amount as the Secretary may prescribe. Congress did not set a dollar figure for the ADU piece. It handed HUD a pen. And Section 303 gives HUD no deadline to pick up that pen. So the honest status is this. The law now permits an FHA-insured Title I loan to build an accessory dwelling unit. No borrower in America can actually get one until HUD writes the definition and sets the limit. If somebody tells you this is available this month, they have not read it. Problem 2, and this is the deeper one. 30 lenders. Why did a program with no appraisal requirement, no equity requirement, and a 20-year term collapse from over 1,000 lenders to 30? HUD's own researchers answered this in writing. Title I loan limits and underwriting procedures, they wrote, have not changed in nearly 30 years. And then, low loan limits limited interest from large national lenders. Read that again. The limit sat at $25,000 for 3 decades while construction costs quadrupled. A loan officer is paid a percentage of the loan amount. Nobody is going to build a department, train underwriters, and manage contractor draws for a $25,000 balance. It is the same disease I talked about with manufactured homes. The product did not fail. It just stopped paying anyone to sell it. And here is the genuinely interesting question. Congress just tripled the limit. Does that fix it? Maybe. $75,000 is real money, and it is the first meaningful change to this program in a generation. But the lenders have to come back, and they will only come back if the math works. Watch that space. I will cover it when HUD moves. So what do you do right now, today, if you actually need to build a unit for your mother? This is the part everyone skips, and it is the whole video. There are 3 products that exist today. 2 of them will not do what you want, and almost every loan officer will offer you one of those 2. The first one is the FHA 203K, the renovation loan everybody has heard of. HUD raised the limited version to $75,000 of rehab in 2024 and just expanded the draw schedule again this June. Good program. But read the eligible improvements list in HUD's mortgagee letter and you find this. Standard 203K can add an accessory dwelling unit that will be attached to an existing structure. It can renovate an existing detached one. It cannot build you a new detached unit in the backyard. If that is what you want, 203K is the wrong door, and you will waste 6 weeks finding that out. The second and third products are the ones that work. Fannie Mae Homestyle Renovation and Freddie Mac Choice Renovation. Fannie's own FAQ says it directly. An accessory unit may be detached from the primary dwelling. Freddie's February fact sheet says choice renovation may be used for constructing a new ADU. Both cap the renovation budget at 75% of the as-completed appraised value, which on most homes is far more room than $75,000. Now here is the insider piece, and this is the one that decides whether you can actually afford the payment. Can the rent from that new unit help you qualify for the loan that builds it? The answer is yes, with hard limits that nobody explains, and the limits are different for every program. FHA, under Mortgagee Letter 2023-17, lets you use 75% of the lesser of the appraiser's fair market rent or the actual lease. But the rental income from an ADU cannot exceed 30% of your total monthly effective income. And on a 203K transaction specifically, where you are building it, that 75% drops to 50%. Also, you need 2 months of principal, interest, taxes, and insurance in reserves after closing. Fannie Mae added ADU rental income to its standard products last October, and it went live in Desktop Underwriter in March of this year. Same 30% ceiling. 1 unit principal residence only. Purchase or limited cash out refinance only. Income from only 1 ADU, even if you build 2. Freddie Mac, same 75% and same 30% cap. And Freddie adds a requirement the others do not. Landlord education. You have to take a course unless you already have a year of rental management experience. And here's the one that catches people. On an FHA cash out refinance, ADU rental income cannot be used at all. Prohibited. So if your plan was to pull cash out of your house to build the unit and use the future rent to qualify, that specific combination does not work. So here is the move. Number 1, find out what you are actually building. Attached to the house or detached in the yard. That single fact eliminates one of your 3 options before you make a phone call. Detached means home style or choice renovation. 203K is out. Number 2, get the rent letter before you get the loan. The rental income calculation runs off the appraiser's opinion of fair market rent on a form called the 1007. Ask your lender to order it with the appraisal. If the number comes in low, your qualifying income drops, and you want to know that before you have paid for plans. Number 3, run the 30% test yourself first. Take your gross monthly qualifying income, multiply by 30%. That is the absolute ceiling on how much ADU rent can help you, no matter what the unit rents for. If your income is $6,000 a month, no more than $1,800 of projected rent will ever count. I have watched people design a unit around rent the underwriter was never allowed to use. Number 4, do not use a cash out refinance if you need the rent to qualify. Use the renovation loan itself. That is what it is for, and it is the only structure where the future rent and the construction money live in the same file. Number 5, if your project is genuinely small, 25 to 75,000, keep an eye on Title I and ask your lender about it by name. Most will not know what you are talking about, and that tells you something. But when HUD writes the ADU rules, the no appraisal, no equity structure is going to be the best deal in this space for a small build. And the people who ask first will get it first. Zoom out for a second. We spent a decade arguing about whether to build more housing while millions of families were quietly running out of room in the houses they already own. There are 22% of seniors living in somebody's spare bedroom right now. The lot is already there. The utilities are already there. The land is already paid for. The thing standing between that family and a second unit was never lumber. It was a loan limit that nobody updated for 30 years and a program nobody got paid to sell. If you made it this far, you are exactly who I make these for. Subscribe because I do this every week from inside the machine, and hit like so it reaches the person whose mother is about to move into a spare room. And tell me in the comments, are you trying to build a unit for a parent or for an adult kid who cannot afford to leave? I want to see the split because I do not think anyone has actually measured it. I put the whole comparison, home style versus choicer renovation versus 203K, plus the rental income worksheet at timtalksrealestate.com/home options. Free, no pitch, and I do not sell loans.